Hello and welcome back to Teacher Kenny's English pronunciation video course. Oh, I hope you've been studying, and we're getting really deep into this Say With Me project. We're going to start today with contractions. We're going to teach you all about contractions in the next few lessons. English contractions are probably the area of English that's most misunderstood. It is not taught very well because a lot of teachers, foreign teachers, just cannot say the words. But here's one thing I'll guarantee you today is if you want to improve your spoken English, if you want to sound more like a native speaker, and you want to add some flow to your sentences, contractions are a must learn. We say often, without even realizing it, native speakers, that we may use 2 or 3 contractions in one sentence and not even realize it. So contractions are such a big part of our spoken English. It's just totally natural. Now, there was a time long ago that people did not like contractions. Teachers, authors, they thought that contractions were not good for literature and books. But if you're imitating any kind of speech, like dialogue or like my novels that I write are almost all of them are in first person, so that's like talking anyhow. So I use contractions a lot in my writing. You're going to find contractions really, really useful. You need to remember the sounds of unt and of, like couldn't, or couldn't have. Those are the 2 main sounds that you'll encounter with the contractions. And you'll also find out that contractions are a good way to ask a yes or no question. If I say a sentence like, she isn't going to class today, right? That's the normal sentence. She is not going to class today. But if I said, isn't she going to class today? So I look at you and I go, isn't she going to class today? All of a sudden we have a question. Most contractions you can do this with. So you can use them in a sentence. You can use them in open-ended yes or no type questions. So contractions are really, really, really useful. And I'll urge you to really have some fun with me doing these lessons. You're going to see things that you just never thought about. Then when you go watch an American movie, he just said that. He said that couldn't have thing, or whatever the contraction was. So let's get ready and go look at lesson 1, okay? And we're going to do about 20 of these at a time. We'll do the words. You'll repeat after me, then we'll have a sentence, okay? So let's go take a look right now at contractions lesson 1. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we are about to get started with the English contractions, and there are so many that we'll be covering over the next few videos. Number one, ain't, which is traditionally am not. There are many ways to use ain't in a sentence, and I may do a video about that all by itself. We have a sentence here. I ain't going to the mall today. Okay, that's pretty simple, but ain't. Number 2, aren't, which is for are not. Aren't. We aren't having class today. But the cool thing about contractions is that they're easy to make yes or no questions, because all I have to do is say, aren't we having class today? See, there's another way to use that and ask a question. Most contractions you can do this with. So when we aren't having class today, or aren't we having class today? So remember that. Number 3, can't for cannot. Now almost everybody knows this one. I can't swim fast like you. And you can just repeat this after me, or try to make your own sentences using can't. Number 4, cause for because. I will stay home today because I'm sick. I will stay home today because I'm sick. Just repeat after me. Number 5, couldn't. You hear that? Couldn't for could not. I couldn't sleep well last night. I couldn't sleep well last night. All right, let's go look at the next set of contractions. Number 6, could have. Hear that? I don't go, some people want to say could of, but it's not necessarily of. Here it's could have. We could have walked to the store, but it started to rain. All right, now say it after me. We could have walked to the store, but it started to rain. Number 7, listen closely. Couldn't have. Couldn't have. It's not couldn't of, but couldn't have. Couldn't have for could not have. I couldn't have done it without your help. This one may be hard for you. You'll have to practice this one. I couldn't have done it without your help. Contraction number 8, didn't for did not. And of course, everybody knows this one. This is one of the ones that everybody knows. She didn't find her stolen money. She didn't find her stolen money. Number 9, doesn't for does not. Repeat this sentence with me. He doesn't like math class. He doesn't like math class. Number 10, hadn't for had not. Hadn't. I hadn't been there in a long time. Just follow me. I hadn't been there in a long time. Okay, let's move on and look at the next set of contractions. Number 11, hasn't. Hear that? Hasn't, for has not. She hasn't time to play today. She hasn't time to play today. Number 12, haven't for have not. Haven't. I haven't heard the news. I haven't heard the news. Now remember, again, you can make a question out of these. I could say, haven't you heard the news? Or, so there are many ways to use contractions. Number 13, listen really close. He'd or she'd. It's for he or she had or he or she would. All right. And listen real close before I read the sentence. He'd, she'd. All right, now look at the sentence. He'd better hurry or he'll be late. See, there's another contraction we're about to get to. All right, repeat after me. He'd better hurry or he'll be late. Number 14. He'd've or she'd've. Now listen close. He'd've or she'd've. Now let's look at the sentence. He'd have liked last night's party, but he was sick. He'd have liked last night's party, but he was sick. Number 15, he'll. Hear that? He'll. And you can also do she'll as also for he will or he shall. And it could also be she will or she shall. All right. He'll go home later today. Repeat after me. He'll go home later today. Okay, let's move on to our last set of contractions for this lesson, number 16. He'll. Listen real close. He'll. For he will have or he shall have. Again, this can be for she also. You can say she'll. All right. Look at the sentence. He'll have a wonderful time at his new school. Repeat after me. He'll have a wonderful time at his new school. Number 17. This is one of those ones that everybody should know. He's, for he has or he is. It is dark outside and he's afraid. Repeat after me. It is dark outside and he's afraid. Here's another tip for you. It is for it's. So we could say the contraction, it's dark outside and he's afraid. We often use more than one contraction in a sentence, just like this, if we wanted to use it that way. Number 18, how's, for how has or how is. How's your mother doing? How's your mother doing? Number 19, I'd, for I had or I would. Again, it's really easy to say, I'd. Now the sentence, I'd like to go swimming today. I'd like to go swimming today. And our last contraction for this lesson is I'd've. Now can you hear that? Repeat after me. I'd've, for I would have. I'd have gone swimming, but it began to rain. Say with me. I'd have gone swimming, but it began to rain. So there we are with the very first contraction lesson. Some of these I know you'll need to practice, but just keep repeating after me. Say with me. That's the whole idea of this series of videos, and you'll get it in no time. And don't be afraid to use them in your spoken English. Have a great day. Say bye-bye.